All right, leaving Mollie's Ridge shelter at 8:36. Heavy rain last night. Great day in the morning. Great thing I was inside. A few tenters were out here. Next target is Derrick Knob Shelter. It is 12 miles. With the dampness, fog, and 70% chance of rain, the stabilizer is not on. So any footage today is going to be bouncy. I'm walking off to the side here because the trail itself is very muddy. Full shelter last night, a lot of interesting people. There was a girl from Quebec. There was a girl from Ireland. I'd actually seen her before. A lot of other people. Some I've hiked with, some I haven't. A lot of great conversation. And two local guys showed up who come up and hike occasionally. Middle-aged guys. A lot of great information from them. They were quite funny. Maybe it was the bourbon they were carrying that made it funny, but they were quite entertaining. Looks like the sun's trying to peek through the fog, and I am sure that at some point today we're going to have another thunderstorm. I got caught in it yesterday. Arrived at the shelter soaking wet. They say you're supposed to put your wet clothes back on the next day. Well, my shorts, they dried out somewhat overnight. They're okay. My socks are wet, my shoes are wet. I did change my shirt out, so I have a couple options there. Another day of primarily going up. Yep, going up. Well, about 2 miles in this morning, the sun's trying to break through, chasing the fog away. I'd rather just stay a little bit foggy. Once that sun starts cooking up this soup, you know it's going to boil over. Hoping to be at Derrick Knob Shelter by 3:30. That seems to be the magic time out here. What an unusual tree. Wow. All right, still moving on. I pointed the camera down so that you can see what we're walking in. Let you listen to the muck. Well, there's no sign saying it, but we're in Tennessee now, according to the apps that we have. I guess we follow the border for quite a while. Been in Tennessee a while, in North Carolina for a while. This view is from Rocky Top. I guess it wouldn't be any surprise to you what the song of the day is going to be. That's one direction. Let's come over here. Rocky Top, Tennessee. No, I won't sing it. The climb up here was pretty tough. The next mountain up there is Thunderhead Mountain. And if you see those open spaces, that's where the trail goes. I see some people over there on the peak right now. So just like all day long, you go down, then you go up. There's no flat ground. You're either going down or you're going up. Well, it's 7:24 on the 22nd. This is the inside of my tent. This is what it sounds like in a rainstorm. It's not even raining that hard. I got here to the shelter. It was chock full. About 18 tents out here. Because all the prime spots were taken, so I'm sitting here. I got set up right before the rain started. And somehow, some way, I've got myself situated on a place here where it's puddling underneath my tent. There's no rain coming inside my tent, but it's coming down a hillside, I think, and it's actually puddling under my tent. So what I've done is I put all my important stuff like electronics and stuff and warm clothes. I've stuffed them in my sleeping bag. I stuffed them in my backpack. And if I have to make a run for it, if this gets too bad, if I have to make a run for it, that's just what I'm going to have to do, and hope there's that overhang where people cook at the shelter. Hopefully there's room there for me to get out of this. I'll get some time. But right now it's puddling right under the main part of my floor. Oh boy. Let's have to see how it plays out. Well, it's Sunday morning, April 23rd. It has rained all night. It's been very windy all night. I've been concerned quite a bit about whether this tent's going to survive. I did get out of my tent last night and solved the problem of water pooling under the tent. So it is currently 8:37. I've been out of this tent one time to use the restroom and to also try to open these vents on the roof. My big problem in here has been condensation inside the tent. The rain's not getting in, but with me being in here and the humidity, there's condensation on the inside, and it'll drip in here. Most everything's pretty dry in here. My sleeping bag at the toe, at the end of it's gotten a little bit damp, but it's mostly dry. I have my beanie on, I have my long johns on, and this is supposed to be an all-day rain, so I might be in here all day. The problem is my food bag is suspended on a bear bag, bear cables, a good bit away, so unless there's a break in the rain, I'm not that hungry right now. I do have some water in here, so that's okay. No cell service, no internet, no nothing. I do have my MP3 player, which has been great. Been trying to tune in some local radio stations to get some weather information. Haven't been able to find that yet. There are radio stations I'm tuning into, but they're having country music countdowns or church services, and I've been listening to a couple of church services, but can't really get any detailed forecast yet, so I'll keep listening during the day. I'm awfully glad that I have that MP3 player. Thank goodness I have my charger in here that I can recharge my phone. I can recharge this MP3 player, to recharge this GoPro. And I'm probably going to try to find a Kindle on my phone, a book, maybe read some. The only problem is if I wasn't already reading it, it's not downloaded, and I don't remember the last book I looked at, so we'll have to take a look at that. But this is quite a challenge. Yesterday was a physical challenge because it's probably the hardest day on the trail. It was just 12 miles, but my goodness, the ascents and descents were so sharp. No switchbacks. Plus all this recent rain has washed out a lot of the trail where it's just quagmire mud, or it's like gullies washed out. So the footing has been very, very tricky. Very tricky. And I know it's going to be the same after this. I just hope there's a break in the rain later today. But this is the mental challenge right here. My goodness, staying in this tent. Now, the shelter is full. The only thing good about the shelter is that you're not going to get wet inside there. When I looked in the shelter last night coming in, one of the park rangers warned us about norovirus, and it's still a big problem out here. When I pulled back that tarp to look inside the shelter, I believe there's room for 16 people in there, and they were all crammed in there. It looked like to me like norovirus city. Noro City to me. Maybe not. Now, some people may have been adventurous in that shelter and may have packed up and moved on this morning. I kind of doubt it, but if the rain stops at some point, I'm going to go over there and take a look. And if there's a spot, I might just take my risks and go in there. Mainly because I can move around a little bit. I don't have to stay, I don't have much room in this tent. And that'll give me an opportunity to move around a little bit, talk to some people, and just dry out some of these things. But it's 8:39 now, so we'll see how the day progresses. Right now it's not looking very promising at all. I'll check back later. Well, it's 11 o'clock Sunday morning. Every time you think the rain is going to stop, it stops for maybe 2 minutes, then it picks up again. The wind has been pretty persistent. Can't seem to get a radio station that will give me any information. All I have is the radio station give me the top 40 countdown or the top country countdown. Nothing where anybody comes on and local and talks about anything, so maybe I'll try that a little bit later. It's interesting to know what the forecast is since I have no way of knowing anything here. Condensation problems continue a little bit. Every once in a while I'll wipe it down with something dry I can find. Relatively dry in the shelter, in the tent at this point. But gonna wait it out. Well, it's now 4 p.m. on Sunday the 23rd. The rain continues, the wind continues. I finally found a radio station that gave me the weather forecast that I didn't like. It was a station in Knoxville, so I guess it's not far from here. Might be somewhat different for this elevation, but not good news. Rain heavy at times all day today. So showers diminishing overnight with clouds giving way to sun tomorrow. So at least there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but this tunnel's pretty long right now. I continue to have condensation issues. I have put my pack cover on my sleeping bag. I put another shirt and a few other things. I wipe it the top down occasionally, but you know, it's just really damp in here. I guess I shouldn't complain. I'm envious of those people in the shelter though.
Earlier today, well, in a brief lull, I did walk out, put on my rain stuff, and went out to, as I said, I did get my bear bag and snacked on a few things. I'm just not really hungry. You know, this could drive you crazy, but the way I keep trying to look at it is, if you've been sick, you end up laying in bed for a day or two, so this is the way I'm looking at it. So I'm back and get through it. I've been reading on my Kindle on my phone a little bit. Don't want to run it down too much. Been studying my AT guide for the next 16 miles or so. Can't wait to get to Gatlinburg and get into someplace warm and dry and have something decent to eat. Well, that's your 4 o'clock report. I'll give you more later. All right, Sunday, April 23rd. It is 6:30 p.m. It has now rained for 24 consecutive hours, non-stop. Last night, it began with thunderstorms, a lot of lightning, heavy rain. I guess the blessing is today is that the rain has just been steady. It's been off and on heavier than sometimes not. Right now, it's not too heavy. But I guess the blessing is it wasn't thunderstorming the entire time. The wind is come and gone. Right now it's pretty slow. The forecast is for gradual ending of this sometime tonight. At least that's what Knoxville radio says. How have I gotten through the day? Well, thank goodness I found a couple of radio stations that have been interesting to listen to. Some great music and some other great talk. And on my phone, my Kindle, I had loaded a book, The City of the Lost Monkey God. It's a true story. I'm reading that off and on, trying not to use up too much of my battery, but that has been also helping me. Last night I thought this rain was kind of rhythmic, helped me sleep a little bit, but right now it's almost like Chinese water torture, just waiting for it to stop. Tomorrow morning, if it has stopped, I'm going to get up, not in a hurry to get out of here. I'm going to try to dry things out, take my time. I've got 10 miles to the Clingman's Dome parking lot and 16 miles to Newfound Gap. So in one of those two locations, hopefully I can hitch a ride into Gatlinburg and get myself dried out and reoriented. All right, that's it for now.